A beautiful, busy day continues to unfold here at Watkins Glen International as TC America competition continues. This, the TCR and TCA first race of the doubleheader weekend presented by CrowdStrike. It's round 10 for the TCR category and round 9 for the TCR category and round 7 for the TCA class as we are getting ready to go here, and they are already out and on the track. A great qualifying run put up by Michael McCann Jr. This is only his second race running in the TCR class after stepping up from TCR Cup. Similar cars, just the TCR class runs sequential gearboxes, TCR Cup does not, and outduels Mason Filippi for the pole. Now, there was a red flag in the qualifying session that shortened things up a little bit, and there were some other drivers who said they thought they may have had something to get to the front with. They weren't able to show it. That makes this race a wide open one in terms of potential, doesn't it?
Potential, yeah. I mean, Mike McCann Jr., a brilliant performance, and I wouldn't say he's out of position. He'd been running really strong all weekend long, but for him to grab the pole and the championship leader, Hertzen, down in 4th position, there could be some fireworks here. Again, for Hertzen, I think he has to think big picture, championship, healthy lead. Don't throw it all away for the sake of 1 or 2 spots here this afternoon. But you got Brian Putt there again, very much in the mix, leading the TCR Cup Points Championship by a considerable margin. 6 wins on the year, 10 podium finishes. And then you got this brilliant TCA battle going on at the second half of this pack here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a good one. Tyler Maxson putting up the pole time, but you look at, as you pointed out, Whitmer and Pombo, Taylor Hagler, who topped one of the practice sessions. She's very much on form here this weekend, as that X-Factor Honda Civic absolutely flying as well. And just a great group all the way down the field. A couple of drivers didn't get times in qualifying, whether it was due to an incident or just a mechanical issue. And so this could be pretty wide open, and looking forward to seeing. One of them is that Hughes Motorsports Mazda of Jose De Silva, who has been quick at times this season. And so it's going to be interesting to see just what unfolds as this one gets ready to get underway here. But the question is whether Mike McCann will be able to fend off Mason Filippi. Talked to James Walker. He said, we were literally about to start our flyer when the red flag came out. He said, got the tires, we're just starting to get into the temperature range we wanted. And so he starts third. Hertzen and Vincent, that may be the big story here, is the 2 guys atop the points are off of the front row, and only one of them is in the second row. So they've got some work to do today.
They do. And Mason Filippi hasn't run all of the championship rounds. Always a threat every time he's here with the Hyundai, coming off a manufacturer's title here in World Challenge competition last year. That big TCA battle right behind them, led by Tyler Maxson from the pole.
This is a great combined field. There's some 24 cars strong as we get ready to go racing. 40 minutes of competition in this split group with that subclass for the TCR Cup. Looking for the green flag. And it flies, and McCann timing it to perfection. Jumps up, and a big run by Walker trying to get down the inside of Mason Filippi down into turn 1. Filippi turns across on him, and Walker has to back out of it. Cost him some momentum. And that might be Vincent or Hertzen sweeping the outside, Cal.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Vincent making that move there. I mean, Walker just tried to outbrake Filippi down to the inside. Then Filippi just swung across his bow. Left Walker with no momentum off of turn 1, and he gets beaten up the hill.
So McCann leading away here. Oh, and Victor Gonzalez taking a run here at Vincent as well for position. Meanwhile, the TCA, look at this run. Maxson leading. Oh, what a huge sideways moment. And big save for Vincent. But that held up Walker again, and that has allowed Gonzalez to come right up on his shoulder.
Yeah, and Walker's been pretty aggressive here. I like what he's doing on this opening lap. It's just not working out for him right now. Oh, there's a crash there.
Points
Whitmer
leader
gets taken out.
Oh, that is a big shunt to the whole front end in front of the tires is gone, and he is your point leader in this category.
He was going side by side with Maxson there. I'm not sure if he got turned and then obviously hit by someone who was following closely with the pack on this opening lap.
Yeah, and that car is going nowhere, and you can see also fluid coming out
Only has an 18-point lead in the championship with 25 points on the board for today. And can they get that car fixed for tomorrow? That's even bigger concern.
Absolutely. Double yellows wave. We're under a full course caution. 40-minute race
to
here.
the front.
He got through him again. Now it depends on. Well, it stayed green for a while, so I'm sure he was able to get through clean. Having a look here.
There's Tyler Maxson there in the lead. So it looked like they were duking it out.
They were heading up into the inner loop.
I think it was. I think it's maybe down in the toe of the boot where
the incident happened.
Yeah.
See if we can.
Oh no! It's coming out of the inner loop.
Almost looks like he may have got the outside wall, the outside barrier there, Cal. Wow. Yeah, for the point leader, obviously, and you talked about it. I mean, he had a decent margin. Nothing's comfortable really, but a decent margin. But 25 to win, nothing for 10th or 11th or back. This could be big here.
Well, he and Maxson have had fantastic seasons, but Maxson had that DNF at Coda, so that cost him. So it's an 18-point lead that Whitmer had coming into this race, but with Maxson leading right now, that would be a 7-point advantage for him. But still, we're early in the going here. But the big question mark now is, can they get that car fixed up for Whitmer for tomorrow even?
Oh, he gave that a wrinkle. That was a hit, Cal.
Big punch, yeah.
Yeah, this could be. All depends on if those support posts in the back, if there's any kind of an edge there.
Could maybe put some tire bubbles just in front of it for now.
Exactly. Well, let's get down to Ryan, who's standing by with the tech sport boys.
Well, actually, they just had to run off because apparently they're taking Nick to medical. But the good news is they have heard from Nick on the radio. He has communicated with them, so that alleviates the immediate concern. But as far as what happened, they didn't know at this point. So we'll endeavor to try and find out. But the good news is at least Nick's been on the radio talking with the team.
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, that's very good to hear. And I'd seen them; they were side by side going into the inner loop. Then we cut away to the lead battle in the overall here, and not exactly sure what unfolded. Obviously, you would think that something sent Nick into that barrier. So field circulating right now. There's Maxson, then Pombo, then Taylor Hagler. She's been quick this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how far she can get up here, maybe grab a podium here this afternoon. Currently third with the early drama. Mark Pombo up to second. He ran in the Sling Cup earlier in the day, but had an unfortunate incident. But good to see him getting some opportunity. Very talented driver.
Looking through the grid here, another guy, if you remember in the qualifying session, Chris Haldeman, who's been one of the fast guys in the TCA category in the X Factor Honda, had an incident and some pretty significant damage. And I'm not sure he's taken the green here, and he comes in fourth in the points.
There he is on pit lane.
Yep.
Helmet on the roof. It's not a good sign.
Not a good sign. They apparently got the potentially got the car fixed to go out, but whatever it was, not quite working. That's a tough break indeed. So right now, Taylor is sort of carrying the colors for the X Factor team. Another teammate, Stephen Zhu, talked to him a little bit, and he and Haldeman have been racing together for a long time. And Stephen, we were talking about Haldeman when he was running here in the Spec Miatas in NASA. And Steven said he ran with him. That was the last time that they've run here. And he said it was just a phenomenal track to drive on. And they were both so looking forward to the race here. And now, obviously, problems for Haldeman, but for Steven Zhu running in the top 5 right now. And Damon Scherzen has an opportunity here to put together one of his best runs of the year. Sits 6th right now in the number 22 Tech Sport Subaru. He's the Canadian who does a lot of ice racing in the winter season. Video filmmaker.
They definitely have a cool little system how they
do.
tackle that. Sticking the girder within the girder, it looks like, and giving a tug with it. It's pretty effective.
That is very effective. Well, that's going to shorten up. I thought that was going to be a lot longer fix on that than it was. That's nice.
Just going to ramp up the intensity here, though. It's going to be a 30-minute race at the most.
The concerns when that guardrail takes a hit like that, it's like when a concrete, one of those concrete blocks takes a hit. If it creates a leading edge or a ramp, that's what they want to address. And it looks like they need to just pull out that one more pole, and they should be in good shape here.
Clean up on the front end, obviously coolant of some description, or oil down from an oil cooler possibly. That's a shame for Nick.
It certainly is. Just a very quick driver. I've had fun watching him racing in the World Challenge for a long time. All right, let's get back down to Ryan, who has found Chris Haldeman.
I have indeed. Unfortunately, speaking to you far too soon.
Yeah.
What has you in this situation?
Well, unfortunately, there on the start, there was something going on at the exit of the bus stop, and a car had gotten into the wall. It covered the track in debris. I went through some of the debris and started smelling something plasticky. So something got wedged in the engine compartment, and it broke the alternator belt. And so therefore the car was overheating quickly, and I slid in my own water under caution. So I just killed the power and coasted into pit road. Try to save it for tomorrow,
So the goal is to get this repaired overnight and get back out tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely.
How had the weekend been going prior to the problems at the start?
The weekend's great. I love coming here to WATKINS GLEN. It's a fantastic facility. And, it's a great track for my Honda. I was fastest in practice 2, had good pace in qualifying, but I made a mistake and went off in the bus stop, and then the qual was cut short. And so I had to start a little farther back than I had intended. And tomorrow I get to start last, it seems, because today's lap sets tomorrow's grid.
Well, sorry to see you out so soon, but best of luck in race 2.
Yeah, it's something that happens. Thanks for coming to see me.
Yeah, he's quite a character, and he is quick.
He is very quick. He had a monster moment in qualifying. Bounced across the curb there before he really had full tire turn, and went for quite the ride. But great attitude. Just take some of the bumps in the road literally, and obviously took a bit of a bad break here being involved in this.
Yeah, it was kind of fun at the June sprints. He was there with another teammate, and the Honda Civics that run in a different series, they brought them in and decided to, and they fit into one of the classes in SCCA, and they decided to run them. And wow, did he put on a clinic in that one. A lot of fun to watch, and especially in the rain. That front drive car was just fun to watch. And he's an absolute character, no question about it. Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys. I mean, he's certainly competitive and everything, but he gets the big picture that, hey, I'm driving a race car. That's fun. Whatever happens, I'm not fixing guardrails. So, and I said that on purpose because I want to give a shout out to the all of the EV crews and safety crews that come out and do this kind of work to make sure that we can have these wonderful races and put on these shows here. And there's a lot of volunteers, the corner marshals, and lots of other people around the track that volunteer their time as well. And this is a good moment to And they're the ones when something goes wrong like this, they're out taking care of it, trying to get things cleaned up so we can get back to racing. And big shout out to all the volunteers.
Yeah, it's a big effort. And got a couple of tasks here they're trying to work over, get this cleanup done on the racing surface and get that guardrail back in shape that it's in position and safe enough to continue racing.
Field working through that area of the track.
So Hertzen had a nice early move. He's up to third. Philippi got around McCann after McCann's nice start there initially. Walker demoted all the way down to 6, and I thought he was in prime spot to get second initially, and
I did
another
too.
move going after that. Just there's some quick cars at the front of this pack. Gonzalez has shown tremendous speed. He had a great lap going right before the red this morning.
He did.
So
he did.
a man that we've seen in victory lane already this year.
I talked to him earlier in the event, and he said during the break here, he said they have gone through that car, they've tweaked on it, tested it, worked on it, and so we found a couple little things. And he said we think we're going to be right back in it. He admitted that at Sonoma, he said we didn't have the fastest car, we just had the best strategy because we had figured out what we needed to do with the tires.
Yep.
And he said, but now we think we've got a car that can go out and do this too. So it'll be fun to see. Yeah, hate to see this.
Yeah, hopefully he saved it though in time. So
Yes, yes.
just get that belt put back on and get all of the pulleys working correctly.
One of the things I was looking at here was Eddie Colleen, who we've talked about with Tooth Racing. He and Travis Hill. It's a Canadian-based team. Eddie's actually a New Yorker that does most of his racing in Canada, and Travis is a Canadian. We've seen Eddie at a few races. First ever start in the championship was right here last year. And in qualifying, he didn't actually get a time set. So as a result, he started at the back of the TCR TC Cup field. And at the time of the yellow flag, he worked his way up to third in the TC Cup class. So good start for Eddie Colleen in front of Steve Vita right now. And Cole.
Yeah, that's a big lap.
Yeah, huge. Christian Cole as well. I mean, he had a real tough qualifying and ended up way back, 17th overall. But with the split start concept, they moved him up to the back of that field, and he did a nice job as well. But everybody this year, it's been chasing a guy named Putt. Brian has been.
He's been making a lot of them.
He's been draining him. Yeah, he's been solid, no question about it. Travis Hill, it's going to be fun to see here. Travis in that Tooth Autosport Audi. See what he's able to put together here. A couple of years ago, ran the 24 hours with TRG, the Racers Group. Has done a lot of racing in Porsche GT3 Cup cars. Has done some Radical Cup racing. And he is the driver coach. The driver coach that's based for Calabogie Motorsports Park up in Canada. So he's got some skills. Get back down to pit lane and Ryan.
Thanks, Greg. Dan Pfiffick is
going green.
actually sounds like we're about to go green, so we're going to call off the interview, but we're going to chat with the team manager for McCann Racing because they've had a busy weekend, but it sounds like green next time by, so that's good news.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Again, kudos to the safety crew here, getting that all taken care of. Look at the rotation that those VW boys get in there. They got that handbrake, so I'm sure that they grabbed that to get it to pitch to warm those and scrub those tires up just a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see here if McCann can answer.
I'm waiting for one off my looper on these.
I know, yeah.
These reconnaissance laps. Glorious afternoon here, early evening.
This is it's about as beautiful a day at a racetrack as you can get. I mean, it starts with a beautiful racetrack, and then you add in this weather.
And these cars, I mean, these TCR cars, a lot of downforce, little 2-liter turbos, front-wheel drive, just a pocket rocket.
And I've thought of what's the best way to describe these cars when they're going through transition stuff, and I keep coming up with scamper, because they just look so quick. You know, direction change and as you said, lots of downforce when they're in fast stuff. And Mason Filippi right there in the orange, white, and black Hyundai. Yeah, did the opening races at Circuit of the Americas, then missed a round.
Yeah.
Actually missed 2 rounds. He also missed VIR, yeah.
St. Pete and VIR. But he's won 4 of the 6 that he's competed in.
Yes. All right, lights out. There goes the safety vehicle on cue. So Mason will be leading the field around. I got to tell you, I mean, even if it was a sort of an abbreviated qualifying session, McCann getting pole in his 2nd TCR class race, the TCR Cup, this is the first year he's raced cars.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It really is.
Really impressive.
And green flag flies. We're going. 22 minutes. Yeah, this has turned into an absolute shootout.
Hertzen looks to the inside for that 2nd position, has to give it up to McCann Jr. Gonzalez, another good run. Everyone sliding in and settling in early here on this restart lap.
Oh, look at that. Nice little margin for Mason right in the off.
Tight there at the bottom of the S's. 2 cars almost together.
It's interesting that Walker, I would have thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive because, I mean, it cost him, you know, he made 2 stabs at it, but he has shown great pace.
Look at that move by Hertzen. Looks to the inside of McCann. He won't give it to the championship leader. Vincent under pressure from Gonzalez. Again, Hertzen pokes his nose down to the inside.
Gonzalez, I think, is going to be very racy today. He was really enthusiastic, especially after he got on track with it and said, yeah, everything worked. And Walker in the Alpha. Ooh, big wide run there by McCann.
Love the way it hitches its inside leg there.
Yeah.
Going through the toe of the boot. Filippi, a nice restart lap. Young driver really starting to feel the confidence, and he's always been quick. Really starting to execute nicely.
It was a big moment for him, and I think 1 for confidence and 2 just the visibility when Real Time picked him to run that 2nd car for the last few races of this category last year to partner Ryan Eversley. And he did so extremely well.
And he ran the California race with Brian Herter Autosport, and now runs with him a different championship. It's just seat time.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here we go.
20 minutes to go.
First full lap of green in the books. Here's your battle for 2nd, and Pombo.
Hagler right there, though, just shadowing.
Boy, with Nornberg right behind her.
Nornberg gets a run coming off the last corner.
Let's see if he's able to make it stick down into turn 1. He just goes in a little bit deep. Taylor just squares up underneath, see if she can come back at him.
He settles back in.
Yep.
Good little battle right now. Maxon realized, I'm sure if he'll have seen the Whitmer car at the side of the road, he realized this could be a big day. Look at this up front. McCann has got around Filippi.
What a story.
Did Filippi have a moment? How did that happen?
Yeah. So McCann leads now. Then the over Filippi, then the 2 VWs from FCP Euro, the Liqui-Moly cars, then Gonzalez, then Walker.
Great stuff from Mike McCann Jr. here.
Filippi trying to get to the inside, can't quite do it coming out of the toe of the boot.
Audi versus Hyundai versus VW versus Honda.
Versus Alpha.
Great manufacturer diversity here in the TCR division.
Okay, here we go. This is the move for the lead. Got the nice draft. Cal went to the outside.
Yeah, I just feel that Philippi must have had a really poor run off of turn 1, and that just magnifies itself all the way up through the S's and down that back straightaway for that to occur. He had a half-second lead over the stripe.
And then McCann did not overdrive, you know, going through around the outside. A lot of times you miss your turn in a little bit, and then you're really struggling, and he just calmly put it right where it needed to be. Let's see what happens here. Meanwhile, this is now the battle in, oh, look at this. The minis have gone to the front. Pombo and Nuremberg.
Maxon has faded back a little bit from the lead.
Yep, there's Taylor, the yellow X-Factor Honda. And then it's Steven Zhu, I think, and Jose De Silva having a good run. Philippi.
Well, it's Hertzen now putting the pressure on Philippi. Philippi dropped another spot. Something strange there that Philippi.
Ooh.
Oh, Hertzen, big bobble.
Oh, Philippi's going to try and stick around the outside.
Oh, this is cool stuff. That is great racing. Is there enough room? Yes, there is. Beautiful.
Yeah, nicely done.
Good stick there. The grip is there in the racetrack. This little car gives it the downforce to be able to make the outside move.
With that little bit of side-by-side has given McCann a sizable margin.
I just don't understand why Philippi's so vulnerable now.
Some sort of just straight line speed deficit issue.
Well, it's happening early. I mean, you know, McCann basically had the job sorted while he was running up the S's and then just blew by the time they got the straightaway, which all starts on the exit of turn 1.
All right, let's take a look real quick at how things changed up in the TCA category. Again, up into that outer loop, Pombo using that outside line, squeezes Maxon a little bit.
Yeah, watch Nuremberg. He obviously gets the run here, maybe tucks to the inside.
Right there. Maxon got out a little wide, didn't he?
Minis look strong right now.
Yes, they do.
The key with the Mini is the long green flag run, but we've only got 16 minutes on the board now, so that's going to help them with the little delay to get going here today.
You see on the side of the lead Mini in Pombo, STEP, STEPS, the Service Technician Education Program. It's an opportunity for somebody who's completed a certain level of study here in the service technician arena at a technical college of some sort to give them sort of an extra step up in getting into working in dealerships. And what's really cool, the team that fields this mini JCW program, LAP Motorsports and Louis Pericarpo, he said 50% of our crew at each of our events are dealer mechanics that come in and are part of this technician program.
And I understand they actually took the number 59 and 60 to be serviced up to the Mini HQ in New Jersey, and the Step 76 and 77 programs with the guys who worked on the cars and got them ready for this race weekend, which is pretty cool.
One of the things that they said was that these cars are close enough to stock that these service technicians can come in and make a difference. They've looked at cars and said, well, we've run into this, you might want to do this, and it's really helped out.
Like me, every time I take my car in for a service, you need new brakes and tires.
But it's been parked for most of it. Yeah, but when I drive it,
Can Walker get back in the groove here and he's making some early moves. Typically comes on strong as the race progresses, so he's not that far away. I think he may have some speed in the Alpha yet to show.
He just doesn't have the time he normally has here with this being compressed just a little bit. Maxon has fought his way back into second around Nuremberg.
Hagler hanging with this group.
I saw her early in the weekend, and she was just had a huge smile on her face. I think she's really enjoying running this car at this track.
Yeah, she's super professional, does a really nice job. Car is immaculately prepared as well.
Protestation from some tires out there. I love it.
Tire scream.
Vincent's gone around Hertzen.
Thought he was supposed to be the wingman for the championship leader.
Yeah.
Game on.
I guess so. in so doing, has set fast race lap too at a 57.7.
He's got around Philippi as well.
Yeah.
McCann Jr., he has disappeared up the road to the tune of 2 seconds here as this little scrabble,
What a
squabble
story.
continues.
And again, fast lap here in this race today determines where you start. And Vincent has claimed that right now.
Look at this battle now.
Yeah.
Here comes Walker.
Yeah, Gonzalez trying the outside of Hertzen. Walker thought, well, this might be an opportunity for him here.
Well, Hertzen hasn't finished off the podium yet this year, but he's got some work to do to maintain that record as Gonzalez is now putting the pressure on for fourth position.
Gonzalez trying the outside. Finally had to give it up.
Michael just trying to get back into his groove, find the rhythm again. Just so competitive,
Yes.
so feisty, you just suddenly get shuffled out of position.
Walker, one of those. Ooh, and there he goes. Did he just get down underneath? I think he
did. He cleared him. It was tight.
But with Walker was talking to him, and some of the members of his team are based in Florida, and everybody, of course, a little bit concerned about Hurricane Dorian, and a couple of the key members have left to look after things. And he said, I'm actually using some of my engineering background to try and help out a little bit this weekend. And he said the guys from Alfa Romeo in Italy, the factory that builds these cars, they said their engineers have been staying up through the night helping provide us with stuff that normally we could do with ourselves, but not with our skeleton crew. It's truly a global effort here this weekend for that team.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That kind of support, and that's what it takes. I mean, this is a really professional level little championship we got going on here. All of the manufacturers are starting to pay more and more attention to it.
I'm just absolutely, impressed but gobsmacked by the run McCann Jr.'s putting on here.
It looks pretty comfy up front,
Sure
doesn't it?
does.
And there's not a lot of time to go as Maxon now trying to defend from Norenberg down into that run into turn one. Hagler just looking to pick up the pieces here and see if she can find a way onto that podium somehow. Pombo, a comfortable lead.
Yeah.
Still for 2 seconds. There you see him climbing the hill.
Well, this little scrap here, and every time Maxon has to defend a little bit, gives Pombo. Oh, Taylor got a great run on Norenberg here. Has to swing out, and now she might be able to pick up a little toe from Maxon.
Can she clear the mini? You know, Norenberg's going to take it in super deep. There he
Yep.
goes. So cool to see such different cars really achieving the same lap time in slightly different ways.
Front drive, rear drive. There's Pombo. There you can see the margin back to Maxon. Still change now in the TCR Cup category as Travis Hill has gone around Brian Putt and picked up the lead. Vita to third, Cole to fourth, and Killeen to fifth.
That's big.
We have to go deep into our stats to find out the last time Putt wasn't leading.
This battle has been intense.
McCann's up now by 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's just taken off from this group and showcasing his speed here this weekend. I'm a little confused by. I just don't understand why he was so vulnerable there before they even got to the S's. They had a couple of laps there. He just kind of freight trained.
Travis Hill.
A little bit of damage there to one of those fender flares on the left front. I've seen that a few times this year. I don't think that's a big issue aerodynamically to the race car.
Right, yeah.
Seems to, if there's any contact there, it seems to immediately break. It seems a relatively vulnerable piece.
There is the margin first to second. Now Hertzen has cleared Filippi as well.
Let's have a look here and see what happens to Filippi here. See if Gonzalez gets a run on him. He looks fine there. Just
yeah, but suddenly,
yeah, right there, isn't it? It's like that mid-part.
Could he be having a gear issue?
Not sure. Obviously, a different manufacturer there with the Hyundai. Not sure from a balance and performance standpoint what sort of power they're being delivered at that phase of the power curve. Vincent and Hertzen. So Hertzen's back in a podium position, runs third, just behind his teammate. McCann has the lead by 5.5 seconds. Dominating things now. As Walker continues to probe and look for a way inside that top 5 in the Alfa Romeo for Risi Competizione. There he goes.
Now swings to the other side. He's got third fast lap right now.
It's good news for tomorrow, but I'm sure he's expecting more than to be running around in 6th here, based on his qualifying run when he felt he left some on the table. So I'm sure that's the story with everyone this morning with that red flag. I don't think everyone got their prime lap in, but I like how aggressive he's gotten. He's really starting to show his mettle in terms of feeling confident in pushing things early. It didn't work out for him on that opening lap. I still like the positions he was getting into. Now he gets a run on Gonzalez. Gonzalez is pretty savvy. He always needs to position his car in the right place.
And Gonzalez, yeah, he's doing a nice job behind the wheel of that Medaglia Februz Honda Type R. Walker gets there and then just can't quite figure out a way around him. This is the battle essentially for the 5th spot here in the overall run order, and they're coming up now in the back of Rodez da Silva.
Tricky spot right there. Fully loaded part of the carousel. Don't want to give him too much room, otherwise you're out in the gray. Nicely managed there by FCP Euro teammates.
And da Silva recognizing it and keeping it tucked to the inside.
Ken lost about a second of his lead there on that lap with traffic.
All right, climbing up through the boot. All right, back to the battle here in TCA. And looks like Taylor Hagler has gone around now Norenberg. So Pombo in the red Mini leads Maxon, but then Taylor Hagler, then Norenberg.
Shake up for the podium.
Yeah. Boy, and this group of 4 here pretty much cleared everybody else. About 8 seconds now back to Steven Zhu and Gronke and Mieja, Pericarpi.
Maxon and Hagler. Hagler, a nice lap there at 2:10.5. That's fastest lap in class. They give her the pole for tomorrow.
Sure looks like it, yeah.
And they're catching Pombo. This one is not over yet.
No. Well, if she can get up to Maxon and they can run together just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're right. Still 3 laps maybe to go here, depending upon timing.
Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah, McCann, that margin has come down quite a bit, actually. It's now down to 1.5.
Yeah.
2 second lap.
That's huge.
That was...
Traffic really has cost him. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. It's not him being conservative. It's just that catches you in the wrong place. You can't run over the top of people, and sometimes people can't disappear for you.
Yes, exactly.
But this one is tightening up here.
Yeah, it sure is.
Pombo definitely backing up a little bit to this chasing duo.
Here comes GLEN working through. Slides by Norenberg. I think I said GLEN, I meant McCann, as he's working his way up, I think.
Tyler and Taylor chasing down Pombo. Here comes the leaders right behind them.
Exactly. Oh, big wiggle there by Taylor. As McCann
could have been distracted a little bit.
Exactly. Just forced a little wide.
Ooh, trouble there for McCann, has to give it up. Tying things up even further.
Yeah, I think Vincent had to back up just a little bit as well for Maxson and Hagler. So, oh, and McCann has to wait again here as he comes up on Pombo.
Yeah, he should clear the Mini by the time they get to the S's, so this will help. 2 more laps to go. White flag next time by, I would imagine.
And Vincent, wrong place to catch the Mini. Here comes Hertzen.
That is tight on the TCA leader.
And there he goes. That was savvy traffic strategy by Hertzen.
Well, you know Vincent's not going to fight him too hard.
Exactly, yeah.
They work together not just on the racetrack, but during the week as well.
Yep.
Could make it a bad coffee break on Monday morning.
Now, does Vincent have just enough raw speed to be able to do something here? He seems to have the pace, potentially.
Just have to be so careful.
Yeah, with the teammate. Oh, gets to the inside here.
They just need to work together, try and chase down that leader potentially. Vincent takes the position. Hertzen a little bit sideways there.
Yep.
Yeah, just caught him at an awkward moment. Couldn't get turned in, had to start to turn and couldn't release the brake enough. So he's turning in with the brakes there and just got the rear to rotate on him and roll a little bit.
Philippi right there, he is in 4th, and Walker still trying to figure a way through on Gonzalez.
That was good news for Michael McCann Jr., just giving him a little bit of breathing room again with those two battling.
Still Hill now leading, and well, this is huge. Vida now 2nd in TCR Cup. Cole 3rd. Putt is 4th.
He's having some problems.
Must be. Can't even see Walker behind Gonzalez here.
Hertzen and Putt, the 2 respective leaders in TCR and TCR Cup, have never finished off the podium all season long. Hertzen has put that straight. He's now running in the top 3, but for Putt, he's gone in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Boy, Norenberg has just absolutely disappeared here. He's dropped way off the order.
Yeah, he's really faded, so not sure what happened there. Here comes Walker. It's a little bit better run through there.
Yeah.
Have a bit of momentum on Gonzalez, but nowhere to go with it.
Well, we're on our final lap, so this is the time for Walker to figure it out here if he's going to do it.
Philippi is a little closer to Hertzen as well. About 1.3 seconds over the line. Looks a lot closer than that right now.
And McCann has got this Yeti coolers out, rolling along. That margin dropped way down there. Now he's ballooned it back up again, Cal, to over 2.5 seconds. So he's just got pace.
Yeah, he does. And that little battle between the FCP Euro machines gave him that little bit of added space here on this last lap.
Here we go. His first season of car racing of any kind, started in TCR Cup, ends up in TCR, and only 2/3 of the way through the season gets the win. Audi winning in TCR here at Watkins Glen. The McCann Racing crew, look at this, Walker at the line, no. Gonzalez just nips him. Vincent second, Hertzen third. Here comes Travis Hill. What a story for him and the Tooth Autosport team, bringing home the win in TCR Cup. Vita there in that red and black machine second. And Pombo, the Mini, winning at Watkins Glen. Maxon second. And Taylor Hagler third. So a Mini, a Mazda, and a Honda in your top 3 in TCA. Boy, and late in the race, I was just going to say, it looked like P.J. Gronke had worked his way up into 5th, but Tomas Mieja in the Mini pipped him on the last lap. But boy, what a drive by McCann. This is just a phenomenal. I mean, and to be honest with you, the reason he's in TCR is, if you recall, it's Sonoma in practice. Right. Got into an incident, ended up on the roof. That car was gone. They'd fielded a TCR car with the sequential for Britt Casey earlier in the season. That was available, and they said, well, let's give that a go. And 2 races later, he wins. And a year ago, other than lapping days, the only experience he had racing was 4-wheelers and off-road competition. So what a story.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think so. Machine.
Nice. Been waiting to work that one in, haven't you? All right, let's take a look at the results here. And again, combined classes here. McCann, Vincent, and Hertzen, your TCR and overall podium. TCR Cup, Hill, Vita, and Cole and Putt. That's a huge development. And then in TCA, Pombo, Maxon, and Hagler. 1, 2, 3. And that one, just a fascinating race. And of course, Whitmer with the incident, Haldeman with the problem at the start. A couple other
question mark on Whitmer whether they'll get that car fixed.
Yes, or if they've got to spare something for him as we take a look at some highlights. And right at the off, and look right there that Walker was going to get through for second. And I think that moment balked him, and here came Vincent around the outside. Then he tried it around the outside there, and that wiggle there allowed Gonzalez alongside, and then this.
Yeah, just a massive moment potentially in the championship. Came in here with an 18-point lead. That's going to be tied here tonight. And is the race car good for tomorrow?
And then McCann coming back, sweeping right around the outside. It looked like that part of the track, Filippi was struggling a little bit. McCann able to get through. Then this battle in TCA started to unfold, and it was fierce. Pombo getting through in the Mini on the orange multicolored Mazda. And Taylor Hagler sitting there in 4th in that yellow and black Honda, just watching, seeing what might unfold here. This big moment when Hertzen went back to the 2nd spot after fighting through and getting in traffic. But at the end, it was McCann with a big, big win, coming through for the win. And a great day for McCann Motorsports as the rest of the field came through and picked things up.